Yo, what's going on, homies? It's your boy Stumped, back for the OPTC video, and in today's video, we're talking about the forgotten ones, the legends that I like to use, or that you might see on a lot of PvP teams, treasure map speed teams, support icons, or just regular farming. So we are talking about mostly regular legends, but there are some exclusive ones that might pop up here and there. But I do want to talk about where you can sort of pick them up and where they're used, and really highlight some of these regular legends, as I know a lot of people are summoning on the 11th anniversary, and you're going to have a lot of clutter in your box. To help bolster your account, this particular video might help you in prioritizing what characters to max out and invest in as well. So huge shout out to my boy Tokz. I have designed this video around the concept of his video. I'll leave a link in the description to his stuff. If you guys know who I am, like, you sure as hell know who Tokz is. And the man just got ambassador, became a G Fuel ambassador. So if you guys are into G Fuel, head over to the G Fuel shop and use Toad for 20% off your order. So congratulations to you there, broski. So I have basically put together a bunch of characters that really work well in treasure map for speed farming teams, support options, and then obviously some really good PvP characters. But there are some characters that sort of just work exceptionally well in regular day-to-day content. So I have highlighted a few of them here. We're obviously not going to be able to get through like every character that is exceptional, but hopefully it helps like newer players bolster their accounts, filter through all of the garbage that you're probably summoning and tanking on your account and going, holy shit, I got a lot of characters that I don't know what to do with. Plus, it's definitely going to help out those mid-game players that are definitely looking at moving into the end game to really bolster their box and their account as well. So starting it off, we have the sort of regular legends that are just really powerful in day-to-day content, whether that's PKA, going through Colosseums, going through clashes, all that fun stuff. First of all, we have Momo. Momo's captain ability. He's probably the best EXP captain you can pick up besides Anniversary Roger. Again, Anniversary Roger is on the banners, the 11th anniversary banners, but Momo is definitely the best one you can find just as a ticket or on a everyday banner. He's exceptional because he does end of turn damage and pops his special at the start, so you actually get an attack boost. You also completely immune to bind, which is a very annoying debuff. He also has a really good special at removing attack down and damage reduction, so just an exceptionally powerful character all around. And when it comes to speed farming, he's actually like one of the better characters because he gives cooldown in his captain. So if you are sort of speed farming EXP, he can definitely be a really good option if you are struggling for cooldowns. But even as a sub, like, Momo works incredibly well. Next we have V1 Shiro. Todd pointed this character out in his video. Very good character, just removing any 2 icon debuffs for 10 turns. Not a lot of characters can do this. The other standout is Orion Yamato, who, look, definitely doesn't do this better than what this character does, but it's just an overround better character, and definitely one you guys want to look out for in your Super Sugo summons. But Shiro moves 10 turns any icon debuff. You can select 2 icons, so stuff like normal attacks only, pain, bleed, the special limit icon, like anything that's like really super fucking annoying, like this character can bypass, and it's really good for newer players or mid-level players that aren't summoning on those illustrious banners. I remember when Kazuna Chopper came out and pain was so prevalent in content because Chopper just removed it as a captain. Well, this particular unit could actually bypass it because you could just remove the pain that way. So very powerful character at just getting around some very annoying abilities. Next we have Robin and Koala. Robin and Koala are definitely one of the most underrated characters ever. Alongside Robin and Jinbei, I think just the Robins just lose so much eyes when it comes to their releases. But this character gives you all buffs, gives you color affinity boost. Their switch ability is really good at removing threshold as well. But the real draw to the character is that you can get 3 turns of barrier removal. 3 turns of barrier removal is ridiculous. The only other character that does it this well is like, well, you don't really use her, but Stussy from Treasure Map, but then like Super Sugo Shanks. So 3 turns of barrier removal is exceptionally powerful for this particular character, and definitely one you'll get a lot of use out of. The other character, I obviously couldn't include them here because like they share a name, is the Robin and Jinbei unit. Robin and Jinbei, definitely one of the more powerful or usable utility-based characters, removing threshold, damage reduction, attack down, gives 2 turns of cooldown. Like, they just do a lot, and they remove special bind as well, I believe. They remove special bind as well? No, they don't. No, they just give the cooldowns. I think they have a sailor ability that removes special bind, don't they? No. Okay, I'm just bugging. So, yeah, basically 2 turns of cooldown, damage reduction removal, attack down removal, threshold removal. This character has been used a lot, and because it's a Robin and a Jinbei, you have a lot of very good supports. Next, we have Hiyori, one of the most amazing subs for Treasure Map, which we'll definitely talk about once we get to the Treasure Map part of this video as well. But, she removes bind, she removes despair, she gives you 1 orbs at the start of the quest, she heals. She's very strong, and she has an exceptional sailor ability that tapping on this character gives you resistance down by 15% for slashes and cerebral characters. So any character that is a cerebral slasher is doing 30% more damage, which is absolutely disgusting. She also has the hunger limit break ability, which is an exceptional limit break ability at helping you bypass quests. I believe Robin and Koala do as well. No, they have the reduced healing ability. And then finally we have Vivi Rebecca. Now Vivi Rebecca have definitely fallen off in recent times, but the reason I wanted to highlight this character for new players is Doflamingo 2 is such a pivotal part of the GARPS challenges, and this character just helps out so much over there. Plus, having the ability to just completely remove defense up and damage reduction, no matter how many turns it is very, very valuable. So definitely wanted to highlight this particular character. You can get color affinity, you can get chain lock with their switch ability, which isn't terrible. But they're definitely one of the more usable characters just because they have that ability to just completely bypass defense up and damage reduction. Alright, so next I wanted to highlight a couple of support characters that you'll definitely see pop up a lot. First of all, we have Rayleigh. Rayleigh's also a really, really good sub. Could definitely be included on that previous slide, I guess, or the previous part of the video. His special removes Blind, Despair, and Paralysis by 7 turns. He also has a Sailor ability where he gets 2 turns of cooldown every time anyone else uses a special. So definitely a really, really good subs on a lot of really, really good teams. And then he goes on Luffy, removing 2 turns of Blind, Despair, and Paralysis whenever inflicted by the quest. So this is really, really good. But I would always recommend players have another copy. Say, for example, you've already maxed out your Rayleigh, you've got your 10 copies, and you're looking for another one. You can always keep another one available for the level 3 support ability, because it just removes Bind and Despair. Bit of an issue with this particular character is that if you get inflicted with Paralysis on stage 3, and you have a way around the Paralysis, and then you get inflicted with Despair on turn 5, and you want this support for the Despair, it's going to trigger on turn 3. So having a second one to have level 3 that only triggers on Bind and Despair means you can just bypass the Paralysis part, which is a little cheeky tactic, but obviously is a bit of an illustrious luxury. I definitely recommend getting like leveled in break 5 first, and then looking at that particular option. But Rayleigh's exceptional. We also have Corazon, who is basically the Rayleigh counterpart for Law. Going on Law characters does the exact same thing with his support. Removes 2 turns of Bind, Despair, and Paralysis whenever inflicted. He has the same ability at level 3, so you can keep a second copy once you get leveled in break 5. But he's also another character that is an exceptional sub. At level in rank 5, can do some disgusting things. Removes Paralysis, Attack Down, has incredible sale abilities to remove 1 turn of Special Bind, as well as 1 turn of Paralysis on the crew. So just an exceptional sub-unit. Plus he has the Limit Break ability that gives him 10 turns of cooldown at the start of the quest. So you can just basically start with his special ready to go, and just pop it multiple times throughout the entire run, which is very, very handy. But the support is where you use him mostly. Next we have Cat Viper. Cat Viper is definitely a very underrated support, but one I use a lot. Goes on Chopper, which is the big one. Dogstorm and Pedro definitely aren't as used as much. Dogstorm can be, but it's mainly used on Chopper. 2 turns of Bind and Attack Down removal, which is ridiculously strong. Attack Down removal supports don't come around all that often, so if you can have one on a Chopper, who's a pretty prevalent character in the game, you can do some fun stuff. On top of that, you can do the same strat where if you have a bunch of extra Cat Vipers lying around, you can just keep the level 2, which will get 1 turn of Attack Down removal. That one there is actually really, really valuable. 1 turn of Attack Down removal is just so damn nice as a support character on a character that pops up a lot, being obviously Chopper. Next we have Barto. Barto, just like Cat Viper, only goes on Robin, really. I think he goes on, like, let's favorite him up. Goes on Cavendish as well, but it removes 3 turns of Paralysis whenever inflicted. Anything that does 3 turns or more as a support is always super valuable, and Barto just sees so much play because of this. The Mr. 1 support rare recruit's probably a little bit better, but it's on activation of special rather than just activating whenever inflicted. So Barto is definitely one you want to look out for. He is a strength character that super well into a quick character, and none of these characters that you see on screen here need Super Evolution. Just their regular 6-star will work fine. Finally, I've included this Boa because Boa is actually really, really valuable as a chain locking support that goes on Luffy. She also goes on some of the other Sandersonias, not Sandersonias, like Margaret, Sandersonia, Marigold, you guys get what I'm saying. But when you're inflicted with chain growth reduction, she gives you a 2.75 chain lock for 1 turn. Now, this is a really cheeky way of getting around a stage that might throw some chain reduction at you, and then you can just get a chain lock and you don't have to worry about it. Another really good reason why the Vivi Rebecca sub is great, because if you get inflicted with chain coefficient reduction for, say, 99 turns, you can just continuously switch with this character and just get chain locks every single turn. So they have some exceptional value there. So there's some support characters that I want to highlight. The Rayleigh and the Corazon are obviously really, really good as just regular characters to use on your team as well. But like mostly these characters are like sort of my most used legend-based supports. Obviously there are other ones like Super Tandem Damis, who has a fantastic support, like Anniversary Zora with his chain boost, Doflamingos, the Superclass Doflamingo has a great support too. But again, we'll sort of touch on those characters when they sort of pop up. And just keep an eye out. Like Ulti, for example. Ulti has a really, really good support, removing 2 turns of Despair. So there are some other ones out there. But like I said, in today's video, we're not going to get a chance to get through everything. Alright, so next we're going to focus on PvP. PvP is obviously a very prevalent game mode with stuff like Grand Party, Assault Rumble, and you play it every single day. You get 3 runs at PvP, so finding some characters that are going to bolster your PvP teams are very, very good. So I've put together sort of 10 characters that can kind of help you out with your team building. Now, again, obviously there are other characters like your Super Sugos, your Anniversary exclusives are the big ones for the more powerful legends that you guys will see on teams. But for today, we're sort of trying to focus more on the exclusive characters on other banners like Treasure Map and Kazuna, or characters like the end of month batch legend. So starting off with the strength team, Christmas Uta. She's fantastic. Like, she is so disgustingly strong. You can get away with not having her. Kobe and her together is just so ridiculous. If you have Kobe, like, again, you can get away with not having Uta, but if you have the two of them, like, you just do disgusting things. For the latest Assault Rumble, she was essential to get the highest score. She gives, what, 30% cooldown or something ridiculous in Rumble. She has a super special. She gives herself level 5 CT reduction. She has, like I said, 20-second cooldown. Her special gives 20% reduction and then a 300 heal. And then with her super special, if you get her maxed out, she has, what, 40% reduction to up to a 50% reduction as well. So you get that alongside Kobe, you're just doing some absolute wild things. Next, we've got Jack. Jack's not necessarily a strength character booster. You can easily just throw him on rainbow-based teams. And the reason I've highlighted Shanks Crew and Tesoro on the next slide is because you can do some really fun stuff with like rainbow-based teams if you're starting the game. Sort of max these characters out and just throw them all together. Be mindful too, you don't really need the 6+ of these units for them to be super effective, but I would highly recommend having Jack and Tesoro and Shanks Crew 6+ before you start throwing them on your Rumble teams. The 6+ characters, like the Super Evolutions and Level Limit Breaks, have definitely enhanced PvP abilities for particular characters. But as you can see with Jack, he's just a rainbow booster. He just buffs the entire team. He does some good defense up for the first 40 seconds. He gives you some really good HP. Then his special is a really good HP cutter. Works great in Grand Party as well, so definitely a character I would look out for on your summons. He's also an EXP captain, but if you've got Momo, you're going to be running Momo 9 times out of 10 anyway. Moving on to the Psy team, Odin has been a staple, or was a staple on the Psy team for just the longest time. The guy does so much fucking damage. He obviously buffs free spirit class as well, but a lot of the Psy characters are free spirit units as well. You get a lot of Psy characters from the panel mission when you start the game too, stuff like Rebecca Toy Soldier. But if you get Wano Law, so you'll have access to a lot of these characters, and getting Odin level 150 is just going to increase his damage output when it comes to his special. And then if you partner him up with Wano Law, the 6+ of Wano Law is obviously better, but like the 6-star still works absolutely fine. He gives a lot of CD reduction to your Psy team, level 6 CD, which is ridiculous, and then he gives Driven and Powerhouse minus level 6 CD. So if you're versing a Driven Powerhouse team, you have a level 12 CD reduction gap, which is just absolutely phenomenal, and getting your specials up, killing the enemy team before they have even a chance to do anything. I actually still use this character on my Psy team today. I am sort of tinkering with the new Mihawk, but like this guy does still pop up on my particular Psy team, so that's a really, really good character to have. Then next we have Jewelry Bonnie 6+. I couldn't really think of any other in character that is super effective in PvP. A lot of them are the anniversary exclusives the Super Sugos like Luffy, Blackbeard, Sabo, the Waifu Trio 6+, like Yamato. They're all like some high-end characters, but this particular Bonnie is probably the one that shines the most as sort of an end-of-month batch. With her 6+, she becomes exceptional in Rumble, so this is one of those times where I'm really focused on the 6+ option here. She buffs in characters, but also lowers the defense of your enemies, and then she gives special rollback by 40%, as long as the enemy has above 70% cooldown. So you don't really want her going too fast, because you do want the enemy to have like a lot of their specials either maxed out or above 70% for her to work. But if she gets to 40% delay, it's just exceptionally strong, and it obviously just slows down the enemy team so drastically. So there's some really good characters for those particular teams. We do have some other characters on over here that work great. Focusing on the Dex team now, we have Halloween Uta. Halloween Uta isn't really like a staple on the Dex teams, but I definitely wanted to highlight her because in Assault Rumble, she was just so goddamn fantastic. She buffs Dex characters. If you have 5 more Dex characters, she gives CD reduction, which is super valuable. Her Rumble special also gives 30% reduction, a shield. She does some really, really good stuff, and you could easily throw her with a bunch of other really good driven characters. She has a super special as well, so if you pick up more dupes of her, just like Christmas Uta, she is going to be an absolute menace with the massive 50% CD reduction she gives, and then she also gives 100% chance to haste characters that have a max CD. So if she gives you the full CD reduction and then haste, brings you straight to the top, and you can just pop your specials off and just do butt tons of damage with characters like Ace, with characters like Lucci, Sobermask, Verse Kaido, you name it, you can hit ridiculously hard. Speaking of Lucci, the 6+ Lucci is absolutely insane in Rumble. In, like, his regular 6-star form, he's still pretty good. He's really good at obviously nerfing quick characters, but even without the quick nerf, he just works phenomenally. He is a world government unit too, so with the new Super Sugo Kizaru, he partners with him very, very well over in PvP. He also becomes a shooter character, so you can do some fun stuff with like Dex shooters, which is awesome. His special does a butt ton of damage. He lowers a lot of defense. Ace is lowering a lot of defense as well, so with like the double stacking defense drops, you can hit ridiculously hard with this particular character. If you are versing quick teams, he basically just melts them. Moving on to the quick base teams that we haven't spoken about yet, we have Kaido. The super type Kaido, he's 6+, just made the character super relevant. So this one, definitely one that I would really highlight the 6+ more than the 6-star. But he has an insane passive that just gives himself stupid buffs in the first 50 seconds. Level 10 speed and attack is absolutely wild. If you are versing strength teams, he can special bind them. He does a lot of damage, he can paralyze. He hits like a goddamn fucking truck, man. He's just such a good unit. The downside with him is that Verse Luffy is a very good unit on the quick team as well. Because you have Verse Luffy and Kaido, you can't run them together, which is a bit of a downfall. Next, we've got Tesoro. Tesoro does show up a lot on quick teams, but he's technically a rainbow-based booster. Just like Jack, you can run him on a rainbow-based team. He gives level 5 CD to the entire team, so he makes your team very fast. And then as long as his HP is above 50%, he gives defense and recovery up, which is really, really nice. And then his special is fixed damage and then gives defense up in a large range, provided he hits your characters. This is a lot of defense that he can give. And again, you can just throw him on a defensive-based team or a rainbow-based team, and he can do a lot of fun stuff for you. Especially with characters like Nami Karina, who's just an absolute demon in Rumble, who's also a rainbow booster. And then finally, we have Shanks' crew, who's the other character that I haven't spoken about. But I just wanted to highlight them here. They work a little bit better on slasher-based teams. Cerebral teams they're pretty good on too. But if you want to, you can easily throw them on a rainbow-based team, because they can just do team defense up and attack up when the timer hits level 70 seconds. The HP up, you just literally give themselves, so you can just throw them in the middle slot, and then they do wonderful things. They do massive HP cuts, and then they give attack up and defense up to the entire crew as well. So with like a good core of like Jack, Tesoro, and Shanks' crew, then if you have like Nami Karina, you can just throw in like a super mad damage dealer on the side, and you can pick up wins, especially as an early player in PvP, sort of starting to get a roll on and figure out the game mode. Alright, so the final part of the video I want to highlight is treasure map. So moving into treasure map, I like to really speed farm the mini bosses, and I thought I would sort of touch on some of the characters that I use a lot when it comes to treasure map runs. So we're going to start off with the captains, the units I use the most as captain characters. Ace is another character that I didn't really have a chance to touch on with supports as well. Has 3 turns of bind removal on a Luffy character, so definitely look out for this particular character. You don't need him 6+, by the way. His 6-star form will work absolutely fine, not only if he's a support, but his captain ability in treasure map is what makes him see so much play. 10 turns of special bind and special reverse removal is absolutely busted. Just having this ability to just bypass like 2 of the most annoying mechanics in a mini boss fight is just so phenomenal. You can use him right now in treasure map that's out, that gives special bind and special reverse. He just bypasses that. If you have him Limit Break expanded and you have him maxed out, his special actually wave clears as well. He's just a really, really good character for treasure map, and one that you see a lot of play and a lot of endgame players use to sort of speed run their fights. Next, we have Cat Viper. Cat Viper is another absolute demon when it comes to speedy treasure map runs. His captain ability bypasses defensive base effects, so stuff like barriers, threshold, damage nullification, anything like that, he's just going to bypass it. And on top of that, he gives himself max special at the start of the quest, so he doesn't even need to be boosted on the fight. Ideally, you fight him against like quick fights, but then he just works like perfectly. His special as well gives an orb boost on turn 2, and then a clock buff that gives you an attack boost on the final stage. So if you're running double Cat Viper, you can use his special on turn 2, get the carryover of the attack boost, use the other Cat Viper special, and then you have an attack boost and an orb boost on the final stage. He also has a super type. If you have Dogstorm on the team, you can use him as a wave clearer as well. So you can just swipe down on the 2 Cat Vipers. As long as you have a Dogstorm on the team, whether it be the legend, whether it be the free-to-play character, which does get boosted every now and again, you can just basically just bink out stage 1 and stage 2 with his super type, have that extra damage to the final stage, and then just basically blow away that stage with the defense removing effects. I'm using him right now in treasure map. He works exceptionally well. Carrot also works very similar to the way that Cat Viper does. However, Carrot doesn't have the added benefit of having the wave clear strats. Plus, she does obviously need certain characters, classes on the team. With her 6+, she just got drastically better. Cat Viper, he just needs, like, honestly, like, Dex and then, like, one of the primary types on the team, and then, like, you're absolutely fine. Where Carrot, you just need the classes, which is a little bit easier. But Carrot's special does a little bit more in the sense that she can lower defense to 0. So not only does she bypass the defensive-based effects, she'll also set the defense to 0 if the enemy allows you to do that as well. So something to highlight there with Carrot. Next, we've got Doflamingo. Doflamingo, he's very, very good in the sense that he's special, his captain ability bypasses special binds. So just like Halloween Ace, you can just get around special bind tactics, but his super class is a damage dealer. So as long as you throw like a Luffy or any of these other characters on the team, you can just basically use the super class of Doflamingo, wave clear turn 1, wave clear turn 2, and then Doflamingo's special is an attack boost and an orb boost. And if you have an attack boost and orb boost, he's a base stats and a chain boost, so you can use him as your captain to just sort of get ridiculous buffs. He's another character I wanted to touch on too, with a really good support, +5 to the chain multiplier at the end of the battle, at the start of the end of the battle, and goes on any driven character, so that's really, really strong. Another character that sort of does what he and Ace does really well is Ace Yamato. Very, very good character for Treasure Map 2. They remove bind and special bind, so that combination is pretty nasty. Finally, we have Alba. Alba is a very new end of month legend. Is available on tickets, but hasn't come back on banners yet, but keep an eye out for him. His captain ability boosts slashes and drivens, but removes despair and bind by 10 turns. This combination of removing both despair and bind is just phenomenal. Like, it's honestly, besides special bind and special reverse, the combination of that, the bind despair combination is probably like up there as the second best combination for utility removal. And obviously, because Alba removes it himself, it just works so damn well. Again, I'm using him right now on Treasure Map for the stage that gives us despair removal. And then the enemy's weak to driven, so I just bring a whole bunch of driven characters there too. So very, very good character, just sort of bypassing those abilities, and an exceptional captain. Then we have Uta. Now, Uta has 2 particular benefits. This particular next sort of slide is based on getting damage output, or bringing characters that can kind of, again, bypass mechanics in Treasure Map, not only as a leader, but as a sub. Now, Uta's like special is exceptional because you get the end of turn progression buff, so you can just use it turn 1, and then like you move into turn 2, you move into turn 3, and by turn 3 comes around, you have like the biggest effect that you could possibly get with Uta. Or you can use double Uta, use 1 Uta on turn 2, and then use the second Uta on turn 3. So if you still have the turn progression buff, you actually get this extra orb manipulation and then the chain boost as well. But Uta as a captain also removes special reverse and paralysis. It's a really, really nice combination. Plus Uta has the quick variation of herself, as well as the int variation. So depending on what like color the stage is, you can actually run it. The next captain we're going to talk about is also a wave clearing captain. Really, really powerful unit that a lot of people like to use to really speed farm Treasure Map. Kuzan's captain ability gives you a attack and orb boost at the start of Battle 3. So just moving into the final stage, you get an attack boost and an orb boost. But his special is a wave clearing special. He does 1 million damage to all enemies that ignores defensive effects, which is really, really strong because you can just bink it turn 1, bink the other Kuzan turn 2. His captain ability gives himself 4 turns of cooldown at the start of the quest. And then with another Kuzan, you get an extra cooldown. So if you have the level 5 cooldowns on Kuzan, usually you run him for the one that just gives you Rainbow, and you just have his special ready to go with Limit Break expansion on turn 1. So again, you can just wave clear turn 1, wave clear turn 2, and then you get that orb boost and attack boost for that final stage. The other characters I've included on this particular sort of slide here are ones that can do really good damage output or bypass effects. Now, whenever it comes to Treasure Map, there's a lot of stages that'll just rotate your orbs on the final stage. So having a character that can give you matching orbs or rainbow orbs or Wano orbs at the start of the quest is super valuable, because when you get to the final stage and it says rotate your orbs into block orbs, it takes up time when you are doing your runs. It's only like, say, 3 to 5 seconds. But when you're doing so many runs, eventually it just becomes very tedious. And having a character that can set all orbs to rainbow at the start of the quest, or 1 orbs at the start of the quest, means that you don't have to worry about this at all. And one of the best characters to use is just Shirahoshi, the V1 legend. You just run her as a sub with her Sailor ability that gives you rainbow orbs at the start of the quest, and then you literally don't have to worry about any orb manipulation moving into the final stage. There is another Shirahoshi, a rare recruit actually, so another character to look out for, which is this one right here. She's from the Halloween Perona batch, and she also has that exact same ability where she sets all slots to rainbow at the start of the quest. So if you have both of these characters, you can throw them on 2 different teams, have rainbow orbs for both fights, and then you're good to go. And then obviously the character we spoke about earlier, who I can't show on this slide because of Toki, but it's Hiyori. So she also has that ability where she gives a full set of 1 orbs at the start of the quest. Remember, if you're using wave clearing strats, you're going to keep those orbs. So you might be sitting there thinking, but like if you start with the orbs and then you tap with the orbs, you get rid of them. Well, if you just use a wave clearer, like say, for example, we're running Kuzan as our captain, with Shirahoshi as a sub, we wave clear turn 1, wave clear turn 2, we still have the orbs that we started with, and that way we have the rainbow orb damage for that final stage. So that works exceptionally well, and a lot of teams you'll see run these types of characters because you just bypass those very annoying abilities. As for like good buffs on the final stage, if you're not running something like Kuzan or you're not running something like Uta to get your attack and your orb boost for your team, you have the Sengoku legend and then you have the Toki legend. I'm going to start off with Toki. She is a Kazuna legend, so she's not an end of month batch, but you can actually buy her from the exchange shop right now. She's 800 medals, which is a fucking lot of medals, don't get me wrong. But if you are new to the game, starting the game, and summoning a shit ton on the 11th anniversary, then you're probably going to have a lot of medals built up by the end of your summons, and then you can just say, sweet, I'm going to pick up Toki from the shop, and then not have to worry about when she comes back on a Kazuna banner. So definitely worth 800 medals if you guys don't have her. There's a Kazuna banner coming out today, but we don't know if she's going to be on that, so just be mindful of that. And if you do have the 800 medals like sitting around, she's definitely one character that I highly recommend picking up. Her special allows you to select 2 characters to apply the Toki ability for 2 turns. And what this does is it gives them like an aura that when you move into the next stage, they can just bypass particular effects. So, for example, on the treasure map that is live right now, your middle row characters get blown away on turn 3. So what you do is on turn 2, you use the Toki effect on your middle row characters. It allows them to bypass these annoying effects. The blow away doesn't trigger, it doesn't affect your middle row characters, and then they get a 3.5 times attack and orb boost for 1 turn. So you can just bink mini bosses with just 2 characters having massive buffs. For example, I'm running a character that removes the bind on that stage as well, so literally just using Toki on those 2 characters and then saying having Shirahoshi on the team to have rainbow orbs and then a wave clear to sort of clear turn 1 and turn 2 just allows you to have that 3.5 times attack and orb boost for the final stage. Sometimes you don't even need to use specials and you can just kill the mini boss with that particular buff, so it works really, really nicely. Another really, really good character that can give you really good buffs is Sengoku. Sengoku, the V2 Super Tandem Sengoku. He can apply a 4 times attack and orb boost on a chosen character when you move into the final stage, as long as you have 1 of every type on the crew. So he's a little bit more restrictive in the sense that you do want to have 1 of every type, which is honestly really isn't that hard to do. You select the character that has type advantage. So for my example, in the treasure map right now, the very first fight is weak to Driven and is a Dex unit, so I have the treasure map Buggy. I use the Sengoku special on Buggy, gives him a 4 times attack and a 4 times orb boost, and then you can just literally bink the mini boss with that particular unit. Everyone gets tandem orbs. The character you select gets a matching orb, which works really, really well, but it doesn't go through block orbs, which is a bit of a shame. But again, if you're using someone that, like, this is another way sort of just to get a full board of matching orbs if you're not using one of those other characters that I spoke about. Plus, you have a very good support in Akainu. I believe he's a Kazuna rare recruit, or it might be a limited rare recruit, and it goes on Sengoku that gives you a 2.75 chain lock. So when you select that one character for the most damage, you can hit a good with another character, hit with that character, and you just basically kill the mini boss, and it works so damn nicely. So they're characters that can give you a lot of damage output in treasure map. And if you combine them with one of these captains, or maybe you're using something like Kuzan or Uta as a captain, you can just sort of tear your way through mini bosses, bypass a lot of very annoying effects, and still get a lot of damage output without using a lot of specials on the final stage. But when it comes to getting to that final stage and keeping those rainbow orbs and the Wano orbs and doing all that fun stuff as you tear your way through the mini boss fights, you are going to need some really good characters to sort of wave clear your way through. Now, I have 2 particular slides here. This one here isn't exactly all legends, but I have included the big 3 characters that are exceptional to max out for wave clearing strats. The first one is the treasure map free-to-play character, Zorojiro. Now, you can pick him up from the treasure map shop. It's going to take you a lot of resources to max him out because you do want to have his own special charge by 6 and his double special activation maxed out. But his special does 250,000 damage and then 500,000 damage respectively, that ignores defensive effects and defense up. So you can just use him turn 1, use him turn 2, clear stage 1, clear stage 2, easy peasy. Very easy character to max out as another free-to-play unit. That is the Straw Hat Brook. He is one of the free-to-play Straw Hat characters. When you get him to level limit break, where is it? Level limit break 5, which again is very easy to do because they give you all the copies at the start of the game. His special gets buffed to do 50,000 damage to all enemies, which is great, again, for doing on turn 1. And then he has double special activation, so make sure to limit break expand him. And then you use his other special, and you can just clear turn 1 and turn 2 with his special. He's always boosted in treasure map as well, so he's actually going to give you some points, which is really, really nice. Finally, we have Vista, who's a regular rare recruit. He does 100,000 damage to all enemies. Again, he has double special activation. Use his special once, use his special twice, and then you're good to go. So these 3 characters are pretty much staples on pretty much all teams. So you just basically have something like a utility-based captain to bypass any of those very annoying abilities on the final stage. You run something like Hiyori or Shirahoshi to give yourself a full bottom max orb, so then you don't have to worry about any orb rotating shenanigans on the final stage, you can use something like Toki or Sengoku to be your attack and orb boost, and then you run one of these 3 characters, and then you just get your double wave clear and just make things very, very quick. You do have some other characters that can be your double wave clearers. You have the Treasure Map Legend, Rob Lucci, and Kaku. Not exactly one that a lot of people will get their hands on, but definitely one I want to highlight because they have a switch effect that just does damage, and with their captain ability, I believe it's the Kaku captain ability. Yeah, Kaku gives 5 turns of switch effect at the start of the quest. So you just run double Kaku as captain, and then you can just switch 1, switch 2, and then you just literally kill both stages with your 2 Lucci and Kaku captains. You can do the same thing with the Kaido crew as well. This is a Kazuna Legend. Definitely not one that I would chase, but one if you pick up, then you can definitely do some fun stuff because their super switch just does a bunch of damage. Their regular switch does it's their super switch, but they start with their super switch, I believe. I'm pretty certain they start with their super switch ability. Yeah, they get 8 turns of super switch. So you just have this ready to go. You super switch turn 1, super switch turn 2, and then you can use their specials on the final stage if you actually need it. So another really good character that can bypass that. But again, you really want to run 2 for that to be super viable. As for other really, really good wave clearers, the Treasure Map Legend Tashigi, I definitely wanted to highlight her as well because she's just phenomenal, but definitely one that you're probably not going to be able to pick up for a little while. Her captain ability will auto proc if you use an orb boosting special on the quest, and then her special does damage to defense and gives you an orb buff. So what you can do is you can actually use the end of month batch legend Zoro to be an orb boosting character on turn 1, and then with your double Tashigi, you just use the Tashigi will auto proc turn 2, the other Tashigi will auto proc turn 3, and she can also remove special bind, which is really nice. But this particular Zoro is a staple in a lot of teams too, because he can wave clear turn 1, and then you can bring another wave clearer on the team, provided you can fit it. He actually has 2 turns of cooldown to the entire crew as well. So big upside here is not only is he wave clearing turn 1, but he gives the 2 turns of cooldown to other characters that might need that little bit of extra juice to use their specials on the final stage. As for another character that can work really, really well as a wave clearer that gives you more damage, you have the Izo and Kiku character. They can wave clear turn 2, and they also give you 3 turns of a chain lock. If you have a bunch of slasher characters on the team or shooters, you can actually get 1 orb rotation as well, which can help you move into the final stage. Sometimes the final stage might just have like your captains get block orbs, so if you run full slasher team, you can get the 1 orbs on your captain, or vice versa with shooters being the bottom row characters too. That works out quite well. And then Tesoro makes an appearance once again. Tesoro is great because he can do the same thing, where he can get the 3.75 chain lock for 3 turns, and then he can give you matching orbs that he gives you that super lock on. So again, you can bypass this very annoying effect. And then finally, we have Kaido. Kaido, he does end of turn damage, so you can sort of just rely on like single tapping and letting his end of turn damage do the work. But if you get the cooldowns ready, like Kaido does 1 million fixed damage, or just insta kill stages if they're below 1 million. So he's a really, really good character to run as double captain option, and then you can just like bink 1 Kaido, bink 1 Kaido. He has utility in his captain ability that can bypass barriers and super annoying effects. He can apply burn for stuff like revives in Treasure Map, which is really, really annoying. And then obviously his end of turn damage can be super effective if you have like resilience and all that sort of stuff that can pop up too. So they're your sort of like really good wave clearers when it comes to Treasure Map. And if you combine your wave clearers with a really good utility captain with a character that can give you really good damage buffs, you can do some really, really fun things when it comes to speed farming Treasure Map mini bosses. But obviously, like in Treasure Map, you want to get points, so you want to throw points on point boosters in there too, and run particular teams that are still going to help you rank and build up your milestone rewards too. But hopefully this video helped you guys out with some of the better end of month legends and what other characters to look for. Like I said, a bit of a long one in today's video, and shout out to the GOAT Toadski for the video idea. Again, I'll leave his a link to his stuff below. You guys probably already checked it out. Like it's Toadski for crying out loud. And make sure you're using G Fuel. Head over to the shop and use his code TOAD for 20% off any of your orders. But that's going to wrap up the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, belt like button, hit the subscribe button, do all that good stuff. Most importantly, wherever you guys are in this beautiful world, please remember to enjoy the rest of your day. As always, homies, thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.